Hello and welcome. It's good to know you're there. It's another interesting class, and today we move on to another micronutrient, micro element. Now, we in the previous study or lecture we considered manganese. We looked at the historical perspective, the sources of manganese, the absorption, metabolism or transportation, the functions, and deficiency symptoms. In the same pattern would follow in discussing iodine. Atomic weight 127. But for those who are familiar with chemistry, the chemical symbol is I. Now, if we stay today, just the historical perspective. Now, coming to narrowing down to nutrition, nutritional function of iodine was first discovered in 1820 by the Swiss medical doctor, physician Francis Condoit. Now, the whole of it has to do with the role that it played in the thyroid gland. Now, he discovered that both humans and other animals that iodine was a major component of thyroxine, and thyroxine is a hormone that is produced by the thyroid gland. The thyroid gland is situated around this place. In cases where, for humans, in cases where there's a deficiency in it, the body, the thyroid gland, when there's lack of iodine, the thyroid gland tend to like looking for it, searching for it. It leads to a kind of bulging of this place called goitre. Now, this can be corrected by using iodized salt. Now, you go to the market, you see a lot of iodized salt. Iodized salt is to help correct goitre. So, iodine is a constituent of thyroxine, this hormone, and other related compounds that are produced by the thyroid gland. This is the gland. The thyroid gland is located for humans around here and for most other animals, mammals. Now, we'll just quickly touch some other aspects of it, in which case we look at them more thoroughly in other places. The historical part is majorly concluded here, which is related to nutrition. Now, the deficiency of iodine would first of all cause a structural distortion or abnormality with the thyroid gland itself. That's what produces it, and then eventually affect the entire body. Now, a few seconds ago, I talked about the enlargement of the thyroid gland, and that's because the body begins to look for iodine. In this part, it begins to search for it. So the search for it, the push and desire to get it, begins to cause an enlargement of this place called goitre. Now, you begin to see that part in some humans and others. Now, most adult animals have just about less than 0.6 parts in a million, parts per million. 0.6 parts in a million parts. They call it ppm. 0.6 parts in a million, just less than it, of iodine. Now, most animal bodies contains just about that, a small quantity of iodine. And even in that small quantity of iodine, one third of that iodine is actually concentrated in the same thyroid gland that we're talking about. Now, the other parts, the other one third of this is in the thyroid gland, and then the others you'll find them in the ovaries, you'll find in the muscles, and you also find in the blood. The highest concentration, like I said, is in the thyroid gland. In other words, more often than not, the iodine has a whole lot to do with the thyroid gland. Deficiency will affect the thyroid gland and other parts of the body. Now, why? Because thyroxine is a major thyroid gland produces thyroxine, which is a major hormone that affects metabolic processes, physiological processes in the body of animals and humans. Now I want you to stay tuned in the next where we're looking at the sources. Interestingly, I don't want to talk about it all. I've talked about it in the process of discussing about goitre and this thing. But I want you to stay in the next class. We'll look at it more in-depthly, the sources, and then we'll look at absorption, metabolism. Thank you for liking, for sharing. If you have a comment, please make your comment. If you have a question, please ask. You have a mail, you want to send a mail, send a mail. You want to say thank you. It doesn't take anything from you to say, oh, thank you. You have a suggestion, please make a suggestion. Thank you so much. Please like, subscribe, and follow. Thank you so much. Let's meet in the next class. Bye.